My computer shows 10:01.
Good morning. I'd like to bring the July 12th, 2017 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting to order. Would everybody please join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Abbott,
Here.
Commissioner Selberg,
Here.
Commissioner Brule,
Here.
Commissioner Azarmi,
Here.
Commissioner Walker,
Here.
Commissioner Beller,
Here.
Commissioner Kelly,
Here.
Commissioner Gordon, Chairman Fluchet.
Here.
Thank you. We have a quorum.
Thank you. A couple of announcements. Anyone who has not yet signed in, please do so at the table located in the lobby. Should anyone wish to speak, please complete the request to speak form, which is also located on the lobby table next to the sign-in sheet. A request to speak form must be completed for each item you would like to speak on, including sub-items. Please note that there are stairs on the right, left, and center aisles, and we ask that you use caution when using the stairs. There's also a ramp located at the audience's left. If anyone has written comments, exhibits, petitions, photos, or letters they intend to present at today's meeting, please have 17 copies and give them to the staff member in the back of the auditorium. She has her hand up. If you do not have 17 copies, you may use the overhead camera to present your document. Please place your document on the podium and line it up with the arrows indicated. If you want your document to go on record, you must hand them to the clerk after your presentation with the agenda item number clearly marked on the document. Members of the public cannot speak to staff members that are sitting in the front here with tables with microphones. If you have any questions, please see the staff member located in the back of the auditorium who can meet you in the lobby. All speakers will be limited to 2 minutes to make their presentations and statements. Everyone, please turn off your cell phones and pagers or place them on vibrate during the meeting. If you must take a call, please leave the meeting area and go outside to have your conversation. We also ask where am I at? The audience to refrain from talking with one another during the presentations and discussions. Today, the Planning and Zoning Commission will hear public testimony and then forward recommendations to the Board of Supervisors. The items with the recommendations made by the Commission will be heard by the Board of Supervisors on Monday, August 7th at 2017 at 9:30 a.m. in the same location with the exception of any continued items. Everyone is attending the meeting is asked to remember that the administrative building and campus are tobacco-free areas, which means no smoking curb to curb. Also, only bottled water is allowed in the auditorium, no food, soda, coffee, etc. If there are any items remaining on the agenda, the commission will break at 1 o'clock, between 1 and 2 o'clock for lunch. Approval of the minutes from last month. Has everybody had a chance to review those? Any corrections or comments? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Beller and a second by Commissioner Kelly. Any further discussion? Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Thank you. Item number 1A.
Item 1A is an evaluation of a request for an amendment to the Mojave County General Plan from a neighborhood commercial land use designation to a general commercial land use designation, and an amendment to the Virgin River Communities Area Plan from a neighborhood commercial land use designation to a general commercial land use designation to allow for an RV park on assessor parcel number 402-33132 in the Beaver Dam vicinity. Staff recommends approval.
Is the applicant present? We have several speakers on the item. Why don't we get to those first, and then we'll let you come up. How's that? Deanna Anderson?
Good morning. First of all, I would like to say in the summer of 2013, I was here and we was protesting a truck stop. At that time, they wanted to use the whole parcel, and it was 32 acres. Now they're stating that they want to put an RV park in, and we're perfectly happy with that. We think it would be a nice addition. But the problem that we're having right now is that we had a meeting in early June with the property owners, and they stated that they want to take and use at least 2 acres of that parcel behind the already approved convenience store to take and use for RV parking. We have a problem with that because we do not want semi-trucks and commercial vehicles using that parcel. That's what we fought against 4 years ago. And so that's why we're here. That's why we've sent letters, that we would love to see if we could find some way to find a happy medium. And if you guys could take and do something like make an amendment to the zoning change, if it's approved, and make it to where there is no overnight truck parking or commercial parking. We're trying to, like I said, make a convenient, easy compromise so that we don't have to put up with semi-trucks. And anyway, I mean, our neighborhood is all up in arms about it because we feel that they're going to try to do the same thing they did before. And once they've already started tearing the ground up. I've got pictures on my cell phone if anybody would like to see them. And they've taken and cleared already about 6.5 acres. And at the meeting in early June, they said they just wanted additional parking for RV parking. But in the letter that was sent to some of the homeowners, my husband and I live within 300 feet. We didn't receive one, and some of them were returned back to the county. But in the third paragraph, it states that their intentions are to provide Desert Springs with an RV park. An RV park will provide additional visitors to the area, which in turn will provide additional revenue to local businesses. We're perfectly fine with that. But we need your guys' help to stop somehow, to take and.
Go ahead.
Continue, please.
Go ahead.
Okay, I have a concept picture here, and I don't know how to show it to you here.
There's right on the front of the podium there, there's an arrow.
Thank you. Do I move it? Okay. In the concept picture for the convenience store, they are showing buses in the fueling lanes and a truck parked there. Behind the convenience store is where they have cleared 6.5 acres. And so at the local meeting in the neighborhood, they stated that they wanted at least 2 acres for RV parking. That's where we get concerned. So I'll speak more on the second item, and that's it for a minute.
All right, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Yes.
You mentioned RV parking, and then in several of the letters we got, it brings into semi-parking overnight.
Right, that's what we're trying to do, is see if you guys will if you're going to approve it for an RV park, that's what we want, is an RV park on that parcel. But the property owners and their partners that are putting in the convenience store have said they want to take and use some of that property, which is a whole different parcel number from the convenience store. They want to extend that parking behind the convenience store for RV parking.
How close would that be to your residence?
Really close, really close. In fact, if I put it up here, okay, down this, they've got it clear back in here now. I've got pictures on my phone to show you. One of our neighbors is right here, and we are, this dirt road goes down, comes around to Anderson Lane, which turns into Fleet Street right here. Right down here where it kind of dips in, there's two tunnels going under the freeway, and they're not high enough for a lot of high truck traffic to go through. So that's also another issue and problem. But, I mean, our community, our houses, you can't see them right here, but there's some of us that, I mean, and so whatever happens here, we're gonna, here.
So your house is just a normal amount from that road?
It's right there.
Yeah, but
Right, yeah.
it's got to be a few feet off the road.
It is, but but where they've cleared to add additional parking
Yeah.
is almost across from our neighbor's house.
That answers my question, thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
so these RVs, when they're basically going to their site, they're not going to be passing by your home because your home is further north of it, is that correct?
It's not very far,
That's not my question. Question is that, all these traffic that you're talking about,
Right.
they don't pass by any of those homes
Yes,
because
they-
they're coming off of the, the
off the freeway.
freeway.
Well, they do, because if they go past this convenience store,
Okay, show me where the freeway is in
the
that,
freeway is right here.
okay, so that side. So what I'm saying is that, those traffic is gonna come off of that, coming into the gas station.
Right.
And then your home, the way that you pointed, was way back.
It's not way back.
Oh,
It's,
show the picture.
can you see this house?
Can you
right
put the
here?
GIS map up on the screen?
There you go.
There you go.
Okay, my house is okay, how can I point? My house is right there.
Okay. But the freeway is south of it, right? The
It's only
southeast.
about a quarter of a mile or
I know.
less.
Well, only quarter of a mile.
Yeah,
Okay, I understand.
so I mean, it's really close.
Okay.
But the traffic coming off of Interstate 15 uses a frontage road, correct?
Right.
It is, that's all it is a
And it's going to
frontage.
go north on the frontage road up to the property into the convenience or the fueling areas?
Right.
Okay. And then they'll
And-
just reverse their pattern to go back and get on the freeway?
Right, and in order for any of the traffic heading north, they would have to come off onto the frontage road, go back and go through tunnels. There's two tunnels going underneath the freeway. The height is only like 6'2", I think.
6'2"?
Yeah.
That's a federal freeway, they made 6 foot.
Nah, it's
Well,
not.
it's,
This is just a flood.
Yeah, yeah, all right.
It is not like a, part of
Yeah.
the,
It's not an all
It's not a
underpasses have got to
normal
be 13.8.
underpass.
right.
Okay.
yeah, they,
Yeah, there's no way they can use it.
yeah, so, I mean, trucks that are over height, get stuck or hit the top.
Oh, wow. Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, the process, if it is approved by the Board of Supervisors.
Right.
It is gonna go through, Public Works and other planning and zoning and all that. And there are gonna be a lot of requirements in terms of making sure that they have proper access, roadways, improvements, et cetera. And one thing, as a general statement I'd like to make is, we cannot be selective of applications that, okay, we can give you this, but we cannot give you that. Bottom line is that the application has to be consistent with our land use ordinance, which is our governing documents. If that application fits within the boundaries of our land use ordinance,
Right.
we have to make a recommendation to the Board of Supervisors, that it is consistent. So it's not like we can be picking and choosing because, I don't like it there, or it is quarter mile away from it, I don't like to see it over there. That is not our, the commission's responsibility on that, and we cannot actually impose any ideas or selection in that part. I just want to make sure it is a general statement. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any other questions of the speaker? Thank you very much. Could we
Thank
have the
you for
applicant
your
come
time.
up, please? Please state your name and address.
Bruce Anderson, 1344 Manchester Lane, Mesquite, Nevada.
Okay. How are your trucks going to get in there?
That's wrong. The tunnels are 15-foot one, and the other one's 1310.
Okay,
We've been
well-
bringing dirt trucks in there, so,
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I mean, I don't know where the 6-foot is. It must be a different one. But this is just right down, so, like, there's an off-ramp, if you want to put it back up there. The off-ramp comes right into the gas station, then turns right back out and goes back on to go southbound. To go northbound, you go down the frontage about 300 feet and go under those tunnels. I'm sorry. But
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Do you have like a conceptual design, like some sort of a, like a site plan
for the RV,
for this, for your
For the whole
project?
site?
the RV I have, but I didn't bring it with us because we're just doing zoning, but I can send it up to you.
Yeah. Staff got anything?
Did you release it to the staff? No?
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, what we have is in your packets.
okay, all right. Well, all we got there are some photos and the GIS and a zoning map, so.
And what we've cleared is what we've already been approved to clear for the truck, for the gas station, so
Okay. And is there any other gas station within that community?
there's nothing out there.
So what is the closest gas station to?
Mesquite,
Where?
Mesquite,
How far is it?
30 miles.
30 miles out?
It
Yeah.
it might be a little less, somewhere in
15.
there. 15?
Isn't there one in Beaver Dam? Beaver
They've-
Dam store?
They've tried and they've been doing it for years, but there's still no fuel there.
Oh,
And the closest mom and pop grocery store,
It's a,
same place?
yeah.
15
It's a
miles out?
lottery little market. I don't know what you'd want to call it. There's a little bit of food in there, but
Is this going to be a name brand gas station, or
it's not branded,
is not going to be a branded one?
no.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions of the speaker?
There's things starting to clear up with me, but it seemed as though there was no issue for you doing the RV. People approved that. The problem came whenever they're concerned about lots of trucks parking overnight, and that must be the area that you've cleared off. Now, do you have permission to clear that off?
Yeah,
for-
that's part of our grading permit for the truck, for the gas station.
So that's something that's already been approved?
Yeah, it's approved.
So that should not even be in the issue we're talking about here this morning.
I don't think so.
I'll ask staff the same question, but, or something similar, but it's muddying the water for me, all these letters, because it says, "The property owners seem to be moving the amount of property back more and more closer to our houses." Now, you're doing something there that's already been approved, right?
Yes, and we have brushed a little bit past, but that's just to keep the weeds down. But we're not putting dirt in that area.
When you say a little bit of past, what's that?
A little bit past, like 100 feet.
Okay?
And we've brushed it but we've not done nothing, and you can brush your property.
Okay.
You're going to
and
put a fence around it anyway, right?
Yeah.
And then another sentence says, please consider your rezoning to put a clause that would not permit overnight parking for semi-trucks. You've already got that approved.
I've got the gas station approved, yes.
What about the parking, though, where you've graded off?
That part, they told me it'd be easier to change my zoning for the RV, and then just quick claim that little piece into it. And that's what we were gonna go for then, so. Instead of changing the zoning on just that piece, they said, if you're gonna change the zoning on the whole piece, the whole parcel, change it first. And that's where we're at right now.
You get a staffing room.
That was a staff recommendation, so.
That's all I have.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
could we have a staff shed some light on this, please?
Scott's the one I
Good-
dealt
good
with,
luck.
he's not really here.
Anything, please.
I'm not sure we can. Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, now, the gas station itself, the proposed gas station, is actually off to the east. It's on a separate parcel.
Right.
And there's two portions to that parcel. Now, the entire parcel is zone C2H. And there's a road that
That's this
almost
here.
cuts the parcel in half. The gas station's on the side that's closest to the freeway.
Right.
So the gas station is not even on the RV parcel. I'm not sure what part was going to be quit claimed.
Ms. Barrett, it does have the proper zoning then, you're saying?
The
Gas-
The
the
gas
place
station
where
has
the
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 proper
gas
zoning.
station
It's
is,
zone
the gas
C2H.
station
That's
is
what I'm saying.
currently
That's this
zone
piece right here.
C2H.
Okay, so there is no, when the gentleman is saying that, there is no problem, obviously, it's already zone C2H, they have to go through the process of the site plan, so it is isolated from the application. And one other thing that Commissioner Abbott, we need to consider is that there is a big difference between a truck stop and an RV, park. Because
totally
RV
different.
park, yeah, again, RV park follows chapter or section 37. It has its own set of ordinance, and truck stop is absolutely totally different category. So, when we are talking about these two, there is no confusion on that, and I think the application is for the RV park.
Mr. Chairman, and members of the commission, the only use placed on the application for the particular parcel in front of the commission was RV park.
Correct. Okay. I don't have any problem.
Any other questions of the speaker?
Just have one question. You said you're going to provide a fence around the property. What would that be made out of?
Well, they told us in some from my understanding, if I'm zoned the same next to it, then I don't have to provide a fence. So I don't know until that comes down to what would actually do. So if the RV park starts, then we'll fence then. But
Right.
if it's zoned the same, I don't have to do anything till we do something in the future, is my understanding.
Could I have staff clarify that, where the fence would be required?
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, the way the ordinance is written is the fence is put up between two incompatible land uses. So normally, the assumption is two uses allowed in C2H are not necessarily, are not normally incompatible. Most likely where the fence is going to start to show up and where the fence is going to be a requirement has more to do with the RV park, and kind of giving a buffer to the people who either reside or are the patrons of the RV park,
This is it right here.
to give them some, a level of separation from more active uses. So that's where we're most likely to see the requirement for a fence.
Go ahead.
My question is this: I think I'm understanding that the convenience store and gas station will eventually somehow, with the new zoning, you would quit claim a part of it to that property, and you're going to have a few acres of parking behind it. The concern of the residents is that there'll be semi-trucks parking there. And do you think that's a realistic concern?
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, they park there now anyway. I mean, they park right on the dirt. They've been doing it for years, so. But I honestly, I mean, don't know what will actually be parked there. I mean, we own the RV park next to it, RV parking, so that's part of why we wanted to have the extra parking for it, so.
Extra parking for RVs?
Yeah, or whatever. I mean, it just
If you have an RV park, why would someone park their RV there?
term and it's full and it's just for one night to get back on and go, then,
So like dry camping or something?
yeah, just,
No, sometimes they
It's
store.
different.
Sometimes they store.
Is that going to be storage?
oh, we have a storage already.
But let me ask you this question. Are you done? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just wanted to be clear. So that's just for overnight?
Just for
Camper.
any overflow more or less. I mean,
And you don't really think that there are going to be semi-trucks parking
it's
there?
actually, like she said, it's a hard thing for them to do. I mean, it can be done, but it's not, and it's not illegal, but I don't see truckers pulling off there and parking, no. Honestly, I mean, and I have a CDL and I drive, so I don't, for me, it would be an inconvenience, so,
Thank you.
yeah.
Mr. Chairman?
Go ahead.
Okay, to make sure that everybody's mind is at ease, you're not gonna advertise for semi-truck parking or charging, for overnight parking for the semi-trucks there, or anything associated, because you're not, set up that way anyway for a truck stop, right?
No, we're not a truck stop.
Okay, so what you're basically saying is that, if somebody incidental parking, that they can do it right now or anytime, you have no control over the situation. But you're not advertising or plus selling parking on that location.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I have one more question
Go ahead.
about concerns that I read in some of these. Is that area you're grading off, is that going to be paved?
Parts of it are, yeah, and then the building, it's just like that's our drawing that she had, that conceptual drawing.
But behind there, it doesn't show any paving. It shows a nice setup around your.
We can only submit to you guys what we actually have approval for until that. But yeah, we were planning on either graveling it or paving it.
Okay. So there shouldn't be a real dust problem.
No.
Any other questions of the speaker? I've got one question. The parcel, it looks like to the east of where you're at, is that where the gas station's going?
Yeah, east.
Okay, and then there's
Take a
another
look.
piece of C2H, what's that?
We haven't done nothing with that part. I mean, it's part of that whole, it was one parcel when we applied for zoning. But they don't have any plans for it yet.
Okay, I'm just wondering what was the land use, or what was the land being used for right now?
Nothing right now, it's just
Okay,
raw.
that's just, because it looks like there's stuff on there right now from the pictures. Any other questions?
Oh, is that the part he's talking about right there? Oh, that's got RV storage on it and storage units.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
all
thought
right.
you meant the rest of this. The piece we rezoned has a little ear that goes up. And I
Yeah.
thought that's what you were talking about.
Okay. All right,
Mr. Chairman?
yes.
The way I see it is that the application is for RV park, which is completely different than truck stop. And it is consistent with our land use ordinance that we have. And again, those, they need to study about the RV parks. There are a whole bunch of set of rules, fence, et cetera, requirements, setbacks that is gonna come with it. And the Public Works also is gonna impose all kind of constraint on, dust control, parking space, et cetera, on this one. So I don't see any issue, and it is consistent with our land use ordinance. So with that, I'll make a motion to approve per staff recommendation.
We have a motion by Commissioner Zami, a second by Commissioner Kelly. Any further discussion? Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 1B. Thank you.
1B is an evaluation of a request for a rezone of assessor parcel number 402-33132 from an agriculture residential zone to a C2H highway commercial zone to allow for an RV park in the Beaver Dams vicinity in the Arizona Strip of Mojave County. Staff recommends approval of the request with the standard conditions.
Okay. Applicant is here.
Oh, Mr. Chairman, staff should also note that we had 10 letters in objection and 1 letter in support.
Okay, we've seen that. We have one speaker, Deanna.
Once again, thank you. Like I said, the problem we have is them trying to change any of the parcel for the RV park into parking for the convenience store. If we can just, if you guys will just zone that for the RV park, we have no problem with it. It's them continuing out. In the meeting that we had in early June with the property owner and Rick Anderson and some of the people from Eagles Landing, they stated that they wanted to clear off an additional at least two, maybe a little more acreage behind the convenience store for parking. That's what they stated. And during that meeting, we also talked about a fence, and we talked about putting some sort of a concrete fence to keep the noise down from the convenience store. And anyway, they stated that they would at least put a 6 feet high chain link fence with slats in it to help control trash from the convenience store and some of the noise. But like I said, we don't have a problem with a RV park. But what they're saying about, or what he was saying about using some of that parking for people just overnight if the park's full, that was never said in the meeting. They said that they wanted that for the convenience store parking. And so if we can just, I mean, like I said, if you guys will just take and zone that for an RV park, we will be happy.
It's the application.
Can I continue, please?
Sure, go ahead.
If you zone it so that they can use it for a parking lot, then we have a problem. So, any questions?
Well, I think the parking lot's going on the same lot as the convenience store.
It's not. And another thing, the 5 acres, okay, in this, the 5 acres is what they have in this concept drawing. That includes the total 5 acres. Now, they have cleared this, but they've also cleared an additional 6+ acres past where this 5 acres is.
If it's on the same land,
It's
that's,
not the same parcel.
oh, really?
No. It's not the same
So
parcel.
they're doing it on somebody else's property?
It's actually their property. The parcel that they're clearing is, right now, is for this and also the parcel for the RV park. They're clearing it now, but they only have a 1,200-gallon water truck for all of
But,
this that they
we-
tore up.
I'm sorry, we don't care about 1,200-gallon water trucks and stuff like that here. So I'm just, what we're trying to do is we're trying to figure out exactly what's going on here on the C2H that's adjacent to the property that they want to rezone for a RV park.
I
Mr.
don't
Chairman?
know if my pictures will show on here. If they would, it would show how much ground that they've actually tore up.
I'm, if,
My husband was in construction, so.
I understand that, but what we're trying to figure out is if they're grading land on, that's their right. I mean, we have no
It is
control.
their right,
Right.
but what we're trying to stop,
You don't want trucks in there.
we don't want trucks in there.
Well-
We don't want a parking lot.
Well,
Mr. Chairman, I have a little bit of problem. The application that I have before us is for APN 402-33132, and it is for the purpose of RV park.
Right.
And that's what we are making a recommendation to the Board of Supervisors. I don't know where are we going with this conversation?
And we have no problem with that. We just don't want a parking lot.
Mr. Chairman,
yes.
I want to see if I understand this. The convenience store abuts this property that we're looking at changing zoning. The new zoning will be for an RV park. The owner or the representative stated that staff told them they could just quit claim a portion of that parcel to the convenience store for parking. So that is not going to be part of the RV park. That is just going to be for parking. And whatever parking is allowed there is basically up to the property owner, and that could very well include semi-trucks. Am I understanding that correctly?
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead.
That's what
I don't believe,
we have a problem with.
okay.
That's what I think
Okay.
that's what you're trying to say.
Exactly.
Commissioner, the thing that, what the applicant is saying and what the staff is saying is not before us right now. There is nothing about that. If that happens, that's a different issue for a different time, because.
The owner stated that.
I understand that, but
Okay.
I'm saying that, the staff did not validate that. The staff members did not validate anything about, committing any kind of quit claim to anybody anyhow, right?
Commissioner Flouché, members of the commission, I was involved in the meeting, I want to say it was over the winter, where we were first introduced to the idea of the gas station.
Right.
I do not recall the word quit claim being used in that meeting. But I do know that when we brought the property to the east of this one to the commission for the rezoning and the general plan amendment, we changed the entire property to the east to C2H, and we amended the general plan as well as the area plan to general commercial. In terms of the general and area plans, parking within the proposed use isn't outside of the question, and they are allowed to grade it.
May I ask you a question? The application is consistent with what we are basically making the recommendation, right? I mean, there's no deviation on the application based on your understanding, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
staff will note that on C2H, parking is allowed in C2H.
Right.
And if at a later date, they allow parking either behind the convenience store or on this parcel for the convenience store, that is an allowed use by right, once they have the C2H zoning.
Right.
So, Ms. Ballard, right now, that parcel that I just named, 402-33132, is before us, and the whole parcel is, applied for RV park.
That's what the application currently says.
But the item that we need to make a recommendation is this application, right?
Well, the only
Is there a-
application before the commission is for that parcel.
Exactly.
402-33132.
That's it, that's
Yeah,
exactly what I'm
we're
saying.
spending a lot of time on a parcel that's
Inventory, left
adjacent
and
to it that has nothing to do with
With
it.
this, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions of?
Recommend we move back to the request that's in front of us.
Yes,
Thank you.
that's exactly what we're doing here.
I feel for your situation there, but that's not an issue that's before us.
Well, then we would rather take and not allow the RV park in and keep it residential agriculture than to take and allow a parking lot.
I think you've already heard from staff that the area he's grading, they have permission to grade that already.
They've got a grading permit.
It's their property. They can grade it if they want, but.
We can't stop that.
Right, and that's not what we're asking you to do. We're asking you to take and make sure that if they're gonna put an RV park in, that that's what they do, and not quit claim deed property for a parking lot on that parcel. That's what we're asking.
Would be the same
We can't deal with something that could happen, maybe if down the road, 2 years. We just can't.
So then
We have foresight, but,
Then we're asking.
not commissioned to do that.
Then we're asking you to not rezone it at all and keep it as an agricultural residential.
Okay. Any questions of the speaker? All right, thank you so very much. Could we
Thank
have the
you.
owner come back up? Clarify something for me. We understand where the C2H is and where the gas station is going to go. What's this quick claim thing that you're thinking
Okay,
about
this is-
doing?
They didn't come right out and tell me this is how to do it. They just said this would be the simplest way to go about it. If you're zoned the same from the gas station to the RV park, which they would be if they go through, then I can take a chunk of it and put it into that. And it's just easier that way than rezoning that little piece, rezoning the RV park, rezoning everything. And eventually, they're all gonna be the same zone.
Mr. Chairman, that's for a different day, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so the application that you have
It's just
before
for the
us
RV park.
is consistent with what you want.
That may or may not happen, so we
Yeah.
don't know.
Okay.
All right, all right. Thank you so much. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Any questions of the speaker before he leaves?
I'll make a motion to approve item number 2.
I'll second it.
1B?
1B, I'm sorry, 1B.
Second.
Oh, okay. We have a motion by Commissioner Selberg and a second by Commissioner Beller. Any further discussion? Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 2.
Item number 2 is evaluation of a request for a rezone of assessor parcel number 402-25-147 from an agriculture residential zone to a residential recreation 35,000 square foot minimum lot size zone to bring the property into compliance. The property is in scenic in the Arizona Strip. Staff recommends approval with the standard conditions.
Is the applicant present for item number 2? Okay. I don't believe any speakers on that. Commission got any questions? Any questions? Okay. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve for staff recommendation.
I'll second. We have a motion by Commissioner Abbott, second by Commissioner Walker. Any further discussion? Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 3.
Item number 3 is a request for a rezone of assessor parcel number 120-21-007 from an agriculture residential 36-acre minimum lot size to a commercial recreation 36-acre minimum lot size zone to allow for a bar and cabins in the Lake Havasu vicinity of Mojave County. The staff recommends approval with the standard conditions, and staff also added a condition that if more than 5 cabins were established, that the applicant come back for an amendment to the general plan. The reason for that is that right now, this is kind of considered a small use. It's not, the use that they're proposing at this time doesn't really tip any scales in the general plan. We want to make sure that should that start to happen, should it become a larger use and a more intense use, that we back up and adjust the general plan accordingly.
Okay. Is the applicant present? Want to state your name and address and tell us what you're doing here?
Troy Nelson, and my address is actually my parcel number, 120-21-007. I currently live on the property, and right now, what we're trying to do is eventually, well, to get started, get some cabins out there and a bar, and then generate some funds to eventually put in an educational center for the physically and mentally challenged, and try to have all of our employees out there, either displaced veterans or unemployed veterans, and a percentage, we're not sure what percentage yet because we don't know what our overhead costs are going to be, but we'll go directly through the VA or other veteran benefits to help veteran courts with getting the veterans out of that are homeless off the streets. I realized from going to a few meetings, some of the veterans that are homeless don't want to get off the streets, but the ones that do, there's just not enough funding right now for them. And if we can, hopefully within the next 10 years, get a campground there and some more cabins with potential of 2 of the cabins being full-time residents, myself, and then a full-time veteran or disabled veteran to help maintain the grounds. But and then the staff recommendations, the only one problem I see complying with is in 2015 when I bought the property and we contacted the road department. The road department does not want that a county road. They do not have the funds to maintain it, nor do they want to maintain it due to the location of it. So I'm hoping that somehow we can do that from, I forget the name of the road there. From the existing county road to the entrance of the property, I'm hoping that we can just maintain that as a driveway, as the gentleman from the county road department in 2015 recommended.
Yeah, that's actually, I was out there yesterday, and it's actually going through a lot of BLM land.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of private land. And where are you going to get the right-of-way so you've got legal access to your property?
Well, in 2015, first part of 2016, we had emailed the property owners, and we had talked to BLM. BLM at that time had given us permission because there was an existing razor trail there.
Right,
And
that's what I drove out on.
then, because it got graded, which was not on our part, and I'm not going to accuse anybody.
No, it was, somebody just went out there with a blade, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, the way that the drive is right now. We would prefer it stay that way and that small. We're not trying to have a bunch of soccer mom vans and stuff come out there. We want that to keep it as natural looking as possible. You know, all of our buildings and everything, we're trying to keep so that it's natural. We want it to be an educational center. We don't want to have it commercial looking. And so, you know, as far as it, we would like to just focus on the Razor clubs coming out. And, you know, if there's an issue with somebody that's got an ADA van, we've already come to an agreement with 706 Ride. They do have a handicap van, and they will bring anybody from the corner of Highway 95 and the Lake Havasu Heights turnoff. BLM has 1 mile acre there that we're free to use for parking. So, you know, if we know that somebody that has a wheelchair and their van can't make it out, if they call us, you know, 5-6 hours in advance, we can accommodate them through 706 Ride.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
are you a veteran yourself?
Yes, sir.
Thank you for your services, by the way. I appreciate that. What happens to the emergency vehicles that they want to get there if there's a situation that they need to attend to?
Okay, we've already had the fire department, even though we're not part of any fire district, the two closest things to us is the Mojave County Fire Department, which is on the
Desert
dirt
Hills
road.
Fire Department.
And they have a 4-wheel drive search and rescue truck that can make it out there. They've been out there. We've asked them for suggestions on in case of fire. We did apply with the agricultural department to clear a buffer, and we've already started on that. So, you know, the fire department suggested we put 4 fire extinguishers out there. I believe we've got 9 fire extinguishers out there. So fire departments.
My comment is not about the fire. You know, more than anything else, if somebody needs attention, ambulance, or you know, some services like that. And I believe that is, you know, the Public Works has a certain requirement that it needs to be. It doesn't have to be asphalt, but it has to be accessible with some, you know, minimum standard that they have.
I feel that an ambulance could make it out there.
Could is
Talking with
different.
the fire department, they feel the same way. You know, the only time that there would be an issue is during monsoon season like right now. I'm not gonna tell you that even the fire department can make it out there. If it's monsooning and somebody got hurt, but then again, we don't plan on being open this time of year when we have the monsoons.
Thank you. Director Walsh, I know that you have a lot of knowledge on this from your previous department. Could you explain what you know would be the
I'm sorry, could you,
regarding the access, because they're saying that, you know, if they can be exempt from any improvement, but since they're going to be applying for multiple cabins and business and things like that, what is the requirement?
from a public works standpoint, I don't know that it's really a public works standpoint. It would actually be more from a zoning standpoint of the amount of traffic generated to that facility and what we would require from a development service standpoint of accessibility, both for the folks going to the place, but then also if there's an emergency, allowing emergency vehicles out there.
But there is a minimum standard that you have.
There are, in order for a road to be built and to be accepted by Mojave County, there are minimum standards that Public Works, that the county has set forth, roadway widths, type of material it's built with. There are a number of, there's a few different options that they can look at. For regular maintenance, it has to be up to, you know, a certain standard. For tertiary maintenance, which, you know, the road department would go out and maintain it if there's a storm or something like that, it's to a certain standard. But for all of those, in order for the county to consider accepting a roadway for maintenance, the perfected right-of-way needs to be there. So if it's BLM land, that land would either need an easement from BLM. If it's state land, that land would need to be acquired from the state. So there's a number of requirements
Right,
there.
well, the application that I see is before us, it says for the purpose of operation of cabins for disabled persons and disabled veterans and operation of a bar facility. So that's what I'm saying, that my assumption is that, Public Works and your department would impose, the minimum requirement that you have to the location.
And that would come in at the site plan review,
Right.
as we go
I just
through.
want to make sure you know that, that is a requirement. So I know that you mentioned that, you like to get away from it, but that is going to be part of your, requirement that you have to provide.
Yes, sir, if I may, we realize we're gonna have to maintain the road. And we have been talking with Mary Ann at BLM, and we're just waiting to see, what the rezoning, once it goes through, what the road requirements are. We have the paperwork. We know it's gonna cost us $1,021 and then $100 a year for their maintenance.
Roadway easement.
But we can't specify how wide of an easement we're getting through BLM until after the rezoning goes through, and then we sit down and figure out, okay, are we going 20 foot? Do we gotta go 40 foot, 60 foot?
Usually it's 70.
And now if we go 70 foot according to the road department, then the county's gonna be under obligation to maintain it, which the county road department, from talking with them, they don't want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, and they don't have to adopt it. So, I'm concerned about if you're going to get something from the BLM, because you're going through two sections of BLM land to get yours. And I've been dealing with BLM and Havasu for quite some time on some other roadway issues out there, and I'm just concerned about legal access, that's all.
Well, sir, right now, we're only going through one section of BLM. I know it says on here that we're
You're
exiting.
going out on Rice Road, right?
No, sir.
Rice Drive?
Rice Drive is shut down at Arlo Cox's private runway.
Okay.
It's been fenced off. There's trenches that have been dug to keep people from using that.
Okay. Well,
The-
if he did that, that's on his private land.
Yes, sir.
So there, I know the road zigzags around in there. I mean, I only got in there about a mile and a half myself, and then I thought, I didn't see any signs, so I thought, well, maybe I was going the wrong direction, but I was
We
just
have
going by the
to
directions.
go in and out at the same corner of the property due to the Army Corps engineer. They're not gonna allow us to put culverts in to exit on the corner here that it specifies.
Yeah, okay,
So they're just one way in and one way out.
all right. Any additional questions of the speaker? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We have no other speakers on it. I'll entertain a motion.
I have a comment.
All right,
That legal access, getting that I see being a problem, but I think it can be done. So I would like to make a motion to approve for staff recommendation.
Second?
we have a motion by Commissioner Abbott, second by Commissioner Selberg. Any further discussion? Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 4.
Item number 4 is an evaluation of a special use permit on assessor parcel number 227-16057H to allow for a helipad in the C2H zone, or highway commercial zone, in the Fort Mojave vicinity, Mojave County. Staff recommends approval, subject to the standard conditions.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I have to recuse myself. I
All right.
have properties close by.
Is the applicant present? Would you like to address the commission? We have several speakers. Do you want to wait?
Hello, my name's Phil Carter,
Okay, your address, please.
1533 Aztec Road, Fort
Okay.
Mojave.
Let us know what you're doing there. It looks like there's some buildings around you, and what's the purpose of this? Just
Well, a couple
everybody's
years ago,
got
I
a clear
subdivided that piece of
understanding.
property, and it's pretty much a medical center, and Air Methods Corporation, formerly known as CareFlight, who does medevacs all around the county, everywhere around the county. They want to they want to land on the property next door or part of the existing lot, and that's where their home base is. So that's what this is all about.
Okay. All right, well, let's bring a couple of speakers up, and we'll maybe call you back. Gina Bartlett. Barrett. Gina, G-E-N-A-B-A-R-R-E-T-T? Oh, all right, here we go. Pull the microphone down so we can hear you, and state your name and address, please.
My name is Jenna Barrett. My address is 3639 Bluebird Lane, Kingman, Arizona. So I'm standing here on behalf of Russ, the owner of Dream Girls. We wanted to oppose this due to many factors, a lot of them being helicopter pad. It brings a lot of debris, and being so close to the highway, being so close to the businesses, it's going to take away from the business, and at worst, do property damage with the debris flying around. Me personally, since it's so far out there driving, it's really dark. So if there's a helicopter flying around, there's debris flying around, a lot of accidents can occur. So public safety is a concern. I've never really been up here, so I'm 22.
Any questions of the speaker? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Matt Stein?
Hey, good morning. Matt Stein. I reside in Page, Arizona, in Coconino County at 21 El Dorado Court. I'm here today. Thank you for giving me a little time here for the chairman and the commission to argue against this approval of a helipad. Basically comes down to what seems to be sour grapes. We, as a Classic Air Medical, I am the COO with this company. Been with this company for 25 years in the air medical industry. We were invited by Valley View Hospital in Mojave County, in Fort Mojave, to take over the air transport services there. We were invited because of our reputation for good customer service and our quality of services as well. And that contract has been inked and ready to go. So now the former occupants of that contract at Valley View Hospital would desire to put basically a helipad across the street and obviously continue as a competitor for our program. So the main concerns, as the young woman stated, is safety. You know, when you have two helicopters operating that close of proximity, it's going to increase your safety factor, a risk factor, I should say, operating in and out of there, which we have concerns for. The landing and departure path for our helicopter, which will be going in and out of that hospital, is going to be right basically over the helipad, which is being proposed at this point. Secondly is, again, the impact on the public in the surrounding areas when you multiply helicopter operations by 2. And not just for patient transports, there's also training flights, there's flights for maintenance, there's flights for public relations, these types of things. So that's going to be all amplified and multiplied in the area, providing quite a bit more sound in the area and possibly upsetting the local population there. I would hope that the hospital administration's given a chance to speak on this as well. But that's basically my concerns today against this proposal.
All right. Any questions of the speaker?
Mr. Chairman, I have to. How close is this helipad to the hospital roughly? Proposed?
It's quite close.
Across the street.
Yes.
500 feet.
Yeah.
Yes.
And when you're coming in there servicing that hospital, where do you land your helicopter?
Beginning August 1st, we will be on the helipad that is currently occupied by Tri-State.
The one that's already there?
Correct.
Thank you.
Sir.
Just and where's that in relationship to this one? Is it across 95 or?
The hospital helipad is directly north
of the hospital?
The hospital, no, it's on the south side of the hospital, but directly north of the proposed helipad.
Okay. We don't have pictures of that. Any additional questions of the speaker? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Emma Kellis?
Good morning. I'm Emma Canlas, and I'm here representing Valley View Medical Center, 5300 South Highway 95 in Fort Mojave. So in answer,
Bring the microphone a little bit closer so we can hear you better. Thank you.
so the proposed helicopter pad is less than 100 yards from the existing pad that's located in Valley View's main campus. It is actually, in answer to the earlier question, the hospital is on South Highway 95, and Wagon Wheel is the street, and across the street is where the proposed property is for the new helipad. An average of about 60 to 65 flights are launched from our current helipad every month. So the concerns of Valley View, the proximity of the proposed helicopter pad will create air traffic issues and road safety issues. Wagon Wheel is where the emergency vehicles, the first responders, come in to get into our emergency room. And so it's the proximity and possible air and traffic issues is a concern for us. We do have the following questions as to whether the helicopter pad will be built according to FAA standards, and what is going to be done with monitoring, flight control, and air traffic, aircraft monitoring related to this project. Also, has there been a discussion with the neighbors, both residential and commercial, about the proposal? And we are respectfully requesting additional consideration of these questions before approval of this request. Thank you.
Any questions of the speaker?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
With the additional pad here, is it going to add volume to the flights? Or just have competition between two contractors?
At this time, we are thinking it will just add competition. No additional volumes are expected.
So 65 flights a month is still going to be about the average.
Yes, sir.
And FAA, I mean, a question you had about who's controlling the airspace, it's uncontrolled airspace, so the pilots know how to announce themselves in those areas.
Correct. And that's the concern, is the increase in flights, just like Matt from Classic Air mentioned, is the additional flights. And what happens when you have two helicopters trying to land, or one to leave and one to land?
Right.
It's just going to be
I would think you'd wait for one to take off before you tried to land.
Thank you.
Any additional questions of the speaker? Thank you so
Thank
very
you.
much. Samuel Snyder. Samuel Snyder.
Stepped out.
Stepped out? Okay. All right. All right, that's the end of the public. We have the applicant step back up for just a minute. A couple questions.
This is one of the head pilots. His name is Jordan Floyd, and he could probably answer your questions a lot better than I could on what you're going to ask him.
Okay, state your name and address.
My name is Jordan Floyd, 9057 South Sage Way, Mojave Valley, Arizona.
Okay.
And just to give some background on myself, I've been a pilot at Valley View at that location for the past 9+ years, and that's why Phil's called me in to kind of field some questions. Beginning with Ms. Jenna's concern about safety, I don't know if you guys have seen a plot plan. Let me put this up for you. This is just kind of rough.
I think we have one in our packet.
Yeah, I think we've got it in our packet, but
Yeah, okay. But basically what this is showing is we're going to build a 60 by 60 cement pad. In addition to that, there's going to be rock around the pad. There will additionally be a fence that separates the neighboring property. We'll put up an additional fence around where there's some landscaping currently to keep the debris and everything else under control. As far as safety goes, of course, that's the number one consideration when operating aircrafts. There's been some discussion of co-locating operating aircrafts, and that's kind of a standard within what we do. Kingman Airport, for instance, 2 operators there. They are both underneath Air Method Certificate, which is the company we work for, but there's 2 aircrafts co-located at the hospital here. It's as simple as, radio communications coming in and out of properties. In this circumstance, of course, Mr. Stein, folks like that, we would open line of communication. We would share, anything that we can do to make it a safe operation. Multiple aircrafts are kind of needed for Valley View because, as Emma had stated, there's 60 to 65 flights a month coming out of that hospital. That's a lot. We have aircrafts currently located at Valley View, Bullhead City, Warm Sea Airport. We have 2 up here, and Lake Havasu, and then additionally down the river and elsewhere. But we utilize our other aircrafts to back up Valley View. It's one of the higher volumes, so to speak. So Kingman will be called down on a regular basis to back up us, so to speak, if we're out on a flight. So in all reality, we're not going to be adding flights.
Right.
We're just going to be across the street, yes, a competitor, but the Classic bringing in a single aircraft is not going to, accommodate what the area is going to need. We have a great relationship with local fire departments, which we're going to continue there. So scene calls, things like that, landing on the highway or, moving into the California area, that there's still a need for our aircraft. The reason we chose the location is currently on the end of what would be the west side of the complex, there nearest to the helipad that we're proposing, is our crew quarters. So it's not that we're trying to move right in, we're already there, we're just trying to keep our presence, if that makes any sense. Landing and departing path, Mr. Stein had said, was right over our helipad. Myself landing there for the last 9 years wouldn't be my approach in as a professional pilot. I would go around into the clearing areas and land, whether it be the clearing on the north side or elsewhere.
All right.
Noise abatement, nothing's going to change. We actually have noise abatement procedures that we've had in effect for the last 9 years. Training, we don't do training out of the hospital. We'll go to the airport. So there won't be, any additional training going on. FAA standards, that brings up something that, people Google how to build a helipad and you get this advisory circular that came from the FAA, and it's 180 pages of, I can read it here, suggested recommendations, specifications, and then it says not mandatory. We're not building an FAA helipad. We're not building a heliport. We're proposing that we have a parking area for our aircraft that will be utilized by our base only. We won't invite in general aviation, nothing like that. It'll be utilized by us. The operations are not going to be, hourly or anything
It's a
like that.
private
At
pad.
most, it's daily.
Is that what you're saying? It's just a private pad?
Just a private pad. There will be lighting. There was some concerns about lighting and safety issues on 95. Not the case. When, let's say, we don't have a medical crew member, we would park elsewhere on Valley View's hospital grounds, some of which was closer to Wagon Wheel, and there's never been a dust issue, anything like that. And we're actually going way above and beyond what would be necessary for something like this, and it's all in, safety.
Okay. Any questions of the speaker?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I'm not familiar with exactly what's going on, but it sounds to me like you would be backup then for the primary contractor. So you would be in closer proximity so you could respond more quickly if there was an emergency transport needed.
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
And I know general aviation, like VFR and all that kind of thing, but basically you're just going to call.
Yeah,
You're just going to, you just have a common frequency, you're just going to announce and et cetera.
Yeah.
So if the primary carrier or the other company is off on transport and doesn't have another helicopter that can respond as quickly as you could, then you would be able to respond to a call for service?
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Okay, thank you.
Any additional questions of the speaker? I guess not. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Any questions of anybody, anything? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I will make a motion to approve item 4 with staff recommendations.
We have a motion by Commissioner Walker, a second by Commissioner Kelly. Any further discussion? Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 5.
Lots of fun with those apples.
Then he left.
Item number 5 is an evaluation of a request for a rezone of assessor parcels number 306-37004E from an AR 10A agriculture residential 10-acre minimum lot size zone to an agriculture residential zone to bring the property into compliance. Property is in the Golden Valley area of Mojave County. Staff recommends approval with the standard conditions.
Is the applicant present? Applicant is not present. We have no speakers on the item. I'll entertain a motion.
I have a question for staff.
All right.
Do I understand it right it's zoned now for 10 acres minimum. And you got 1.1 acre there is the location where something is built now, is that correct? And has that been approved to build on the 1.1 acre, or is that what's out of compliance?
Mr. Chairman, I really can't answer whether or not the existing structure has a permit. I will tell you that the property is out of compliance. It's the result of some splitting that took place, I believe, about 10 or 15 years ago. The current applicant purchased the property as is and was not aware of some of the situations surrounding the fact that the property was not the size required by zoning and is trying to rectify those deficiencies.
So this will bring it in compliance.
It will, Mr. Abbott.
Thank you.
Any additional questions, comments?
Make a motion to approve for staff recommendation.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Abbott and a second by Commissioner Walker. Any further discussion? Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 6.
Item number 6 is the evaluation of a rezone for assessor parcel number 339-35013 from an agriculture residential 36-acre minimum lot size zone to an agriculture residential 6-acre minimum lot size zone to allow for a minor land division in the Golden Valley vicinity, Mojave County, Arizona. Staff recommends approval with the standard conditions.
Is the applicant present? Item number 6, all right. The applicant is present. We have no speakers on the item. Any questions to the applicant? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve by staff recommendations.
I'll second it.
We have a motion by Commissioner Keller and a second by Commissioner Beller. This
Swung on and missed.
speaker's name is Weber here. Anyway, any further discussion? Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I think we're going to take about a 10-minute break, and
You're
we'll,
jealous that I had the apple and you don't have one?
well, I'm seriously thinking about it. Anyway, we're going to adjourn for 10 minutes.
You can stay here, Matty, you've already had yours.
Oh, yeah.
don't know.
Hey, you guys took so long, you know, I almost finished the whole thing. I think we're on 7 right now.
I wanted to ask,
I thought we were in
I
8.
wanted to ask Chris a
that eight?
question. We used to get every time we had.
Mine is just keep it sleeping, so I have to wake him up.
Just merely,
I'd like to bring,
you know,
hello, I'd like to bring the meeting back to order.
there's 5.
Item 7A?
We don't have to make a motion to the commission?
No, we don't.
We don't need, okay.
Item 7A is an evaluation of a request for an amendment to the Mojave County General Plan from a medium-density residential land use designation to a general commercial land use designation to allow for open lot storage for assessor parcel number 324-19-820, 821, and 822 in the Kingman vicinity. Staff recommends approval.
Is the applicant present? Okay, we have no speakers on the item. Would you like to address the commission? Nope, all right.
That's my computer.
I thought it was his pacemaker for a minute.
No, no, it's okay. Somehow my computer knows it's the last day, I guess. It's committing suicide, I don't know. All right,
No, it's opening up.
no, I just went to,
All right, well, you're going to have to wing it.
yeah, I'll borrow. Go ahead,
All right.
there you go, back on.
We have no speakers. The applicant is present. Any questions, comments? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve according to staff recommendations.
Second motion.
We have a motion by Commissioner Kelly, a second by Commissioner Abbott. Any further discussion? Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 7B.
Item 7B is a request for a rezone of assessor parcel number 324-19-820, 821, 822, from a general commercial zone to a commercial manufacturing open lot storage zone to allow for vehicle storage. Staff recommends approval with standard conditions. The department received one letter in support of this proposal.
Okay, the applicant is present. We have no speakers on the item. I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve per staff recommendations.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Selberg, a second by Commissioner Walker. Any further discussion? Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 8A.
8A is an evaluation of a request for an amendment to the Mojave County General Plan of assessor parcel number 32402, 102, and 104A from a medium-density residential land use designation to a general commercial land use designation to allow for an open lot storage and outdoor display of construction materials in the Kingman vicinity. Staff recommends approval.
All right. Is the applicant present? Okay, we have one speaker on the item, Cindy Webster.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Cindy Webster. I'm a longtime resident at 3581 Oriole Lane. I live right down the street from the property in question. This area that we're in, that this residence is in, is a residential area of single-family homes, stick-built and mobile homes, close proximity to each other, very little open space in between, so it's densely residential. This property has elementary school bus stops on either side of it, one street, either side of it. So you have children in the area, family area, children playing in the streets. In this area, Butler, Birdland as it's affectionately known, is known for violations of zoning, open lot storage of cars, not taking down the weeds, trash, junk, anything left out in the yards and in open lots. Zoning has multiple complaints, I'm sure, about this area. And a complaint was filed, I believe, in this property showing that it's not compliant with open lot storage, and that's where we're at today. To allow the open lot storage and change the rules for this property is going to make it more difficult to enforce the zoning laws for the rest of the area. I've worked with Erase to set up a cleanup in this area to try and get people to clean up their yards, get rid of the trash, get rid of the stuff that's in their open lots, and clean it up and try to get the property values up and make it, put some pride back into the area. It's hard to do. It's hard to get people to comply. But if we have this property allowed to have open lot storage, then why not have everyone else allowed to have open lot storage? I think we're opening up a can of worms. I do know of one other small construction company that has purchased some lots, and they use that for open lot storage and construction materials as well, which detracts from the general look of the neighborhood. If it was to be cleaned up, they wouldn't fit in. It's not compatible. The other problem being that this is a retail operation as well. You know, the traffic that goes along with this particular parcel creates problems in the area. We have parking problems. He's gravelled off the side of the road to make it more of a parking area. We have FedEx and UPS trucks barreling down my road on a daily basis with deliveries to it. If we're going to do open lot storage, this is an active area. It's not just storing it and that's it. There's more going on here. So I just think it's not compatible with the area, and it's not following the zoning guidelines that are already there. I don't think we need to change the rules. I think we just need to enforce the guidelines that we already have. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions of the speaker?
I have a question. I'm not disagreeing with any of your comments, and I don't know exactly why he needs this to come into conformance, but that is in an area. And there's a business run there that look like needed for that area. And if you look at the pictures we got, and I drove by there, it's pretty neat and clean, that business is. I mean, it is tremendously clean compared to buildings and houses very close by.
Correct.
So it makes it hard for me to be against trying to give this business what they need to continue being there.
I understand. But I have a problem with it because it is open lot storage. If I can't store stuff out of my yard, why can't he do this and run a business in a residential area too as well? I mean, I understand that's a special use permit, and that's probably a different subject for a different
Is
day.
it more open lot storage, or is it stuff he's selling and he's getting in there and part of the business?
Everything that's out in the yard that's stored in the open is for sale.
Yeah.
This is all a retail operation. And if I think a retail operation should be on a major street rather than in a residential area. And if I'm trying to clean up the residential area, then he should have a view obscuring fence, which would be detrimental to a retail operation, I understand. But I think a view obscuring fence is part of the special use permit that he had in the first place, and that hasn't been done. But if I want to enforce open lot storage, you know, that they should not have open lot storage in the other homes and areas, parcels in the area, then why should he be allowed to do it?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Thank you.
You know that the current zoning on that property is C2, right? It's a commercial.
It
It's
is
not
commercial.
residential.
Because what I'm seeing here, it was something residential is what it said in today's.
I saw in the application, it goes from C2, is that correct?
It is C2, yes.
So what I'm saying is that, you know, you're saying that, you know, it needs to go back to residential. The current zoning is C2, is already commercial, so they're just making it compatible with the business they have, which is that correct, staff?
Yeah. Mr. Chairman, where the speaker is getting the residential is off the general plan. The general plan does note that this area should be medium-density residential.
Right, general plan, but what I'm saying is that the current zoning on this property is C2.
It's general commercial, yes.
Yeah.
It's already C2, so it's not residential.
Across the street is R1.
The buildings, the business has been there for years.
Right, it's consistent.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any additional questions of the speaker?
I'd just like to point out that the map shows that C2 on both sides as well.
Right.
So it's-
Well, actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, they're all C2 or C2H that are within a reasonable distance. Okay. The applicant is present. You want to come up and say a few words and answer a couple of questions, maybe? Please state your name and address.
Sherman Valley, 3100 Apache Street, Kingman. I want to thank Mr. Abbott for recognizing the condition of that property. I came in here to Kingman from Phoenix 15 years ago, purchased that property. I did this business in Phoenix. It's something that was definitely needed in Mojave County. There is no other ones around except for Vegas or Phoenix. I purchased stuff for such low prices that I keep my prices low to help everybody that can't afford the big box stores. I don't take a lot of money from the business. I put it back into the business. One of my biggest pet peeves is to keep that place clean, organized, and make people want to come in and see it. Safety-wise, I've been open 12 years. I've never had a problem. I've never had complaints. I have people saying that please don't ever shut down. Contractors, numerous amounts of people. As a retired general contractor myself, when I find places like this in my time, I was so grateful. And most of the people that come in there are grateful. I even help people that can't afford stuff by giving it to them. I would definitely be hurt, and so would the Mojave County, if we had a problem with this building. It is America's dream to start a business and succeed. And that's pretty much what we're trying to do.
Any questions of the speaker? Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, folks.
We have no more speakers on this item. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve based on staff recommendations.
Second motion.
We have a motion by Commissioner Beller, a second by Commissioner Abbott. Any further discussion? Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number 8B.
Eight B is an evaluation of a request for a rezone of assessor parcel numbers 324-02-102 and 104A from general commercial zone to a commercial manufacturing open lot storage zone to allow for an open lot storage and outdoor display of construction materials in the Kingman vicinity, Mojave County, Arizona. Staff recommends approval with standard conditions.
All right, the applicant is present. We have one speaker on this item. Cindy Webster is gone.
She left.
No, okay. So we have no speakers on the item.
You ready for a motion?
Yes, I'm ready for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve for staff recommendation.
Second?
We have a motion by Commissioner Abbott, second by Commissioner Selberg. Any further discussion? Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Call to the public. Anybody wishing to speak on anything other than any item that was on the agenda today? We have no speakers. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion by you, but who's second? All right. Motion by Commissioner Kelly, seconded by Commissioner Zami. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion.
Aye.
Thank you all for coming.